Written by Murphy here. I'm doing a book review on Unmasked by Andy No. Have you heard of it? It was a big deal. It's been kind of banned-ish in places, although I did get it from the library. This is a book that's talking about, a journalistic book talking about Antifa, the anti-fascists. And Andy No is famous, and his last name is spelled NGO, is famous for having been attacked by Antifa protesters in Portland. He was seriously attacked and went to the hospital and suffered some brain injury from the attack that happened to him. Now, the reason he was attacked is because he was acting as a journalist at these protests, and the people he was trying to observe took exception to this and attacked him. All right, so he wrote a book, and people who don't want to hear what he has to say have attempted to ban the book. Famously, one of the big bookstores in Portland, Powell's, did a big deal of saying, we're not going to ban his book, for which I'm proud of them. We're not going to ban his book, but they made it like only online. They didn't stock the physical book in the store, and they never discounted it, all the things that they might normally do. So he was acting as a journalist. Do you remember journalists? Journalists, the essence of journalism is someone that does some research on a topic and then goes to find out what's happening on the street, with that particular topic. How is it being, what's happening with it, with real people right now? So that's what Andy No tried to do with Antifa over the last couple years. He saw something about it and was interested in it. Eventually, he became injured because of his interest, as he was trying to journalistically find out more about it, take pictures, get stories, interview people. And so this journalistic effort resulted in a book. He does not actually work for a place that would pay him. So he has to get internet support and get whatever, put together a journalistic career that he can. All right. So journalistically speaking, he did what journalists do, which you see so seldom of nowadays. I don't see it anymore. It seems like people on TV who call themselves journalists consider research to be sufficient when they read Twitter. So he talked about his experience. He talks about the research that he did of Antifa actions where he wasn't actually there, but he also talked about experiences where he was there. He talked about the history of Antifa, and in particular, I was struck by, I didn't know this, but as soon as I researched it elsewhere, that's one of the things I liked, is what he said, I could go online. It's not like what he said was like an exclusive information. It was verifiable as well by going online and seeing, okay, where else can I verify this information? He talked about how the Antifa logo symbol actually comes from the German Communist Party as it was under the Nazis. So he was illustrating that this is showing how they have ties to communism. And definitely he brings out that in his story. He definitely brings out that they are against capitalism. They want capitalism to end. Not just in America, but in all the places where they're protesting, and they are protesting in many places all over the world, according to his story. It was interesting. It told me more than I knew, so I'm grateful to his journalistic efforts, and it's definitely worth reading. I find it interesting that there's rather little about it. I did find something, he is against what they're doing. He thinks it's dangerous and he thinks it should stop. He believes it's harmful and they are committed to violence. I did look to see if I could find other things that were from people who were Antifa, and I dipped into that, and it seemed to confirm what he was saying. So I read it. It was interesting. I'm impressed with his commitment to journalism and how much he has suffered for it. It's kind of startling that here in America so much violence was done against a journalist. It would indicate it supports his theory that these Antifa people are violent. So it was a really good book. I think he did a good job of journalism. I recommend it. I'd be interested. What do you guys think?